Now on CoastTV News.
Lifeline in short supply. Delaware Legislative Black Caucus partners with Blood Bank of Delmarva for statewide Black History Month blood drive amid ongoing emergency.
Erosion funding fears. South Bethany faces beach replenishment uncertainty after winter storm damage.
Good Friday morning, Delmarva. Watch for some patchy fog and some slick spots this morning. A beautiful afternoon awaits as we push 50. It gets even better into Saturday. We do have some brief cold air and some wintry weather to talk about early next week.
Clinton testimony draws national attention. Hillary Clinton denies knowledge of Jeffrey Epstein as Bill Clinton appears before lawmakers.
This is CoastTV News Today.
Good morning, I'm Grace Eckerly. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Grace. Good morning, I'm Elisa Weber. Matt Pensick is on assignment.
Thank you for being up with us during our 5 o'clock hour. And Elisa, we're excited because there was a little melting action in the snow yesterday.
That's cooler this morning than yesterday.
Yes,
Nothing
it
we
was.
can't handle.
If you've been following along with the saga of what kind of card I'm using instead of an ice scraper, first we started off with old Starbucks gift cards, then an old debit card. Today, it was my Penn State student ID, which I guess I don't need much anymore.
No,
sad.
when you get desperate, you just have to use your hand.
You gotta. I'm like,
yes,
to get it
that's a
all
bold move. But I mean, I can't believe it's the second to last day of February,
which is crazy.
This
crazy. Month has flown by.
I know.
We've had such a fun month here. I've had a fun month with you, Lisa.
You know, we're getting through January, February. It's the time of year where people are like, okay,
yes.
you know,
maybe you're planning your summer vacations.
Maybe.
Good time of year to look forward to something nice and warm. Chris, are we looking forward to anything warm today? Maybe.
We are. We're looking pretty nice by this afternoon. We're dealing with a little pesky fog out there this morning with the added moisture, the snowpack on the ground, the little rain we had yesterday. You can see visibility down to a quarter of a mile through Cambridge and a little dense there to the east of Cambridge through western portions of Sussex County. Salisbury down to a half a mile of visibility. Right now in Milford, we are at 30 degrees. So the other thing is we have dropped below freezing this morning for all areas away from the beaches. So some slick spots out there, some black ice. So use some caution. We're at 28 in Harrington, 29 in Georgetown, 29 and Long Neck. So some slick spots, especially in those less traveled roads in those those neighborhoods. Winds are relatively calm. So we have calm winds out there, clear skies. That's allowing for those temperatures to drop this morning. Now, the system that brought us a few showers yesterday continues to stretch out across the southeast and push off the Atlantic. High pressure is building in, and we are in for a fantastic day. We're going to get up to near 50 degrees this afternoon, mostly sunny skies. And if you like this, you're going to love tomorrow because we're going to make a run at 60 degrees. But we do have a brief shot of some wintry precipitation into Monday before a big warm up. You'll see that in the 7-day forecast.
Chris, a big warm-up. You're getting people excited. Turning now to our top story, the Delaware State Housing Authority is launching a new effort to tackle affordable housing challenges across the state. DSHA says that through Senate Joint Resolution 8, 9 jurisdictions will take part in a zoning and land use reform pilot program. Those include Bridgeville, Dover, Georgetown, Laurel, Lewis, Milford, Newark, Rehoboth Beach, and Sussex County. The goal is to modernize zoning rules and increase the variety of housing options, including accessory dwelling units, manufactured homes, higher density development, and mixed-use projects.
This comes as the Sussex County Council continues to work on recommendations to reform land use. Its Land Use Reform Task Force have previously presented 20 ideas to county officials. Some staffers said some of the ideas were achievable, like forest preservation, but some of the bigger items, like comprehensive rezoning, were described as quite difficult. Another frustration voiced by council and staff is that while the county handles land use, the state handles roads. Concrete changes could come later in the form of ordinances if council chooses to take action.
New this morning, a blood drive happening today in honor of Black History Month. Delaware's Legislative Black Caucus says that it will host a blood drive across the state in partnership with the Blood Bank of Delmarva. And officials say this is especially important as the Blood Bank of Delmarva remains in a blood emergency. The blood bank is operating with less than a 2-day supply of blood for more than 40 hospitals across Delmarva. In Sussex County, organizers say that people can schedule an appointment at the Dagsboro location to participate.
Also new this morning, Delaware could add 2 new alcohol license types. Senate Bill 243 would update Delaware code to create a special event license and a bottle club license. Officials say that would be for businesses that provide art experiences like painting, candle making, and other creative activities. The legislation was introduced on Thursday and has been assigned to the Elections and Government Affairs Committee.
Happening today, discussion and possible action in Fenwick Island. According to the agenda, town leaders will consider and possibly decide on renewing the town's contract with Casalello Waste Systems. Another contract in discussion, Go Melvo Snowballs Beach Concession. Town council will gather this afternoon to discuss at 1 p.m.
On the coast, significant erosion to Delmarva's coastal communities after the recent winter storms, and a lack of federal funding is keeping South Bethany from getting the beach replenishment it needs this year. Multiple storms this fall and winter have left shelves along the coast and made the beach more narrow. South Bethany's mayor says the town will work with DENREC to design a new ramp access under the new conditions and find ways to get people onto the beach. But one neighbor says having some dune is better than no dune.
I can remember a time where there were no dunes, and I mean, it's not great for the people that are right on the beach, but for being down the street a little bit, it's certainly fine.
Coastal leaders affected by this lack of federal funding say they expect to have beaches replenished sometime in 2027.
A 90-day effort to slow things down in the streets of Rehoboth Beach. The Streets and Safety Advisory Committee was formed back in November to address speeding on some of the city's busiest roads. Some of the short-term traffic calming measures that were suggested include painted driveway boxes, speed readers, and more speed limit signs. Anthony Unger says that he's been waiting for interventions on Columbia Avenue for more than a decade.
One speed bump like they had down here, people go over it, then they'd speed up. And they get up to 40, 50 miles an hour because they were in a rush because the speed bump slowed them. It has to be consistent. And the fact of the matter is that if you go down to first or second, there's stop signs down there. And there's no reason you can't have stop signs down here. So this is sort of like an area where I think it's largely been ignored. And I hope the city's now going to address it.
City officials say they are still working on longer-term speeding solutions.
This just in, tensions are escalating between Pakistan and Afghanistan after reported cross-border strikes. Pakistani security sources released video today that they say shows airstrikes in Kabul. Officials on both sides report heavy losses as cross-border fighting intensifies after months of rising tensions.
We are now taking a live look into New York City on this Friday morning. It was less than 24 hours ago here that former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton told the House Oversight Committee she has no information about convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. New overnight, former President Bill Clinton will give testimony today to members of Congress under subpoena for the first time ever for a former president.
NBC's Alice Barr shows us details of the upcoming questioning.
In a first-of-its-kind move today, former President Bill Clinton set to answer questions from lawmakers under subpoena in the House Oversight Committee's Jeffrey Epstein investigation. The committee chair promising a longer deposition today.
We have a lot more questions for Bill Clinton
than the 6 hours former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton sat for on Thursday.
I never met Jeffrey Epstein, never had any connection or communication with him. I knew Ghislaine Maxwell casually as an acquaintance.
Neither Clinton has been accused of wrongdoing, but the questioning comes after former President Clinton's photo and name appeared multiple times in the Justice Department's released Epstein files. The former president has said he cut ties with Epstein before learning of any of his crimes.
I think the chronology of the connection that he had with Epstein ended several years before anything about Epstein's criminal activities came to light.
Democrats saying Hillary Clinton answered openly as Republicans assert they at times
weren't satisfied with answers.
Democrats now arguing the committee has set a new precedent
about talking to presidents and former presidents. And we're demanding immediately that we ask President Trump to testify
Republicans making that appear unlikely.
President Trump has answered hundreds, if not thousands, of questions from you all about Epstein.
As the Epstein controversy hits a new marker today. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Back here at home, Cambridge is giving people more time to have a say in shaping its future. The city is extending the deadline on a survey collecting feedback on its comprehensive plan. Officials say that the plan will cover how land, housing, transportation, as well as the use of other resources. Maryland law requires these plans to address everything from community facilities and development regulations to sensitive environmental areas and fisheries. According to the city, people can view the draft plan and provide their comments online now until March 28th.
The Maryland Transportation Authority is warning people about a text scam claiming people have toll debts. Officials say scammers aim to gain personal information such as credit card numbers and usernames and passwords. The agency is reminding Marylanders it does not send texts about toll debts. And this is now going to bring us to our CoastTV poll. We want to know, have you ever been targeted by a scam? Let's take a look at the updated results.
37% saying they have been targeted by a phone scam. Coming in closely behind, 31% saying that they have received email scams. Elisa and I can relate. We get those.
You get those texts all the time.
Quite a lot. Text scams coming in next, and 12% of voters saying they've never been targeted. And we do have a comment coming in from Jane in Rehoboth, who says, I, as a rule, just don't answer calls that I don't recognize. Seems
do the same.
A pretty good habit to have.
Is.
If you'd like to vote and you haven't done so yet, or leave us a comment, you can go to our website, coasttv.com, or you can vote on our mobile app. Now, we're just getting started here on this hour of Coast TV News Today.
Coming up, park construction progress. What new additions are coming to Salisbury?
Also, panhandling ordinance outrage. What Dover city leaders decided this week and why the rules are sparking controversy.
And Paramount bid progress, how the company could be the new owner of Warner Brothers Discovery after a new move from a bid challenger. But first, there is First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobuono working hard, as usual, not as hard as he was earlier in the week, but that's good. We'll check in with him after the break.
We made it to Friday, Delmarva, and we have some really nice weather to look forward to here over the next few days. We have clearing skies. The system that brought some showers yesterday continues to pass to the south and out to the Atlantic. We are dealing with some patchy fog this morning. We're at 30 in Salisbury. The fog primarily across Dorchester County, Wicomico, and portions of Sussex County. Temperatures are also dipping below the freezing mark this morning. We're at 30 in Georgetown, so watch for some slick spots. We take a look at temperatures this month. We round out the month, just 2 more days left, and we're going to end the month well above average. Look at that, 19 days so far above average. And as we look forward to March, maybe slightly above normal. We are going to start March a little on the cold side, but we are going to warm up drastically. You'll see that coming up in that 7-day forecast.
Thank you, Chris. The Point at Cape Henlopen State Park is closing Sunday, March 1st for the spring and summer season. It has closed every year since 1993 because of threatened and endangered beach nesting, migratory shorebirds, and other wildlife species. The ocean side will reopen to the public September 1st, but Bayside won't reopen until October 1st because of shorebird migration.
Council members in Ocean City are seeking companies interested in running a seasonal pedicab service, creating an on-demand transport option for residents and visitors to replace the tram. According to the town, the systems would let riders request point-to-point trips through a mobile app, and if company is selected in time, pedicabs could be on the boardwalk as soon as this summer.
Netflix has declined to raise its offer after the Warner Brothers Discovery Board determined that Paramount has submitted a, quote, superior offer. In a statement, Netflix said the deal is, quote, no longer financially attractive. That means Paramount has suddenly moved much closer to taking over all of the assets owned by WBD. Paramount announced earlier this week that it had raised its offer for all of WBD to $31 a share.
And the financial tech company Block announced it is cutting its staff by 40% and says artificial intelligence will now handle the work instead. In a letter to shareholders, co-founder Jack Dorsey said that Block will lay off more than 4,000 people and will reduce its workforce to just under 6,000 people. Block was founded in 2009, and it's a company that's behind Square, Cash App, and Afterpay.
Some of us waking up to some patchy fog as well as some icy conditions with temperatures falling below freezing, but we have a beautiful day ahead of us and an even better start to the weekend. We'll talk about that, plus a little wintry precipitation as we start early next week. We'll talk about it next.
The time is now 5:19 and we are taking a live look outside at Salisbury this morning. Chris, that is a quiet roadway, but there's one car.
Oh.
But if you're traveling this morning, calm conditions outside.
Yeah.
Much different from earlier in this week.
Oh yeah, far cry from that,
Yes.
but we are seeing temperatures dip below freezing, so some areas dealing with some patchy fog as well as some black ice this morning. You can see visibility down to 1/4 mile through Cambridge, Georgetown. That's really the sector where we're seeing the most dense fog, and a little better here along the coast. As we take a live look into Milford, we're at 30 degrees, so we are below the freezing mark. We have clear skies, calm winds. That's allowing for temperatures away from the coast to really drop out. We're at 27 Harrington, 29 Milton, 29 in Millsboro, but we are above the freezing mark along the shore. You see those calm winds out there, wind flow out of the north, skies are clearing. You can see a system well to our south producing rain across Georgia and the Carolinas. This area of low pressure is going to continue to push offshore, so some of these higher clouds could filter into the southern portion of the peninsula through the morning hours. But a really beautiful day awaits. By Saturday, we're pushing the 50s and 60s, a little cooler at the coast. Cold front's going to push through Sunday. We have a brief round of cold air and some possible wintry precipitation Monday night, and then we're going to warm up pretty quickly into next week. We're at 50 right now in Georgia this afternoon, 48 in Ocean Pines. We'll have a high of 50 in Long Neck. So clear skies through the afternoon, some patchy fog to start Saturday, but other than that, a beautiful afternoon under mostly sunny skies. Then we'll see a few clouds roll in Sunday. That's ahead of the front that will be pushing through. So tomorrow's the big day in Georgetown for the job fair, looking very nice with wall-to-wall sunshine through the afternoon and those temperatures getting up to around 60 degrees. A little cooler Sunday, we're 50 with that cold front pushing through. Then we watch that system into Monday night, trending a little weaker as well as a little warmer at this hour. As this system moves in, Monday night begins as a brief period of snow. We could see a brief coating to an inch, but notice as the warmer air works in Tuesday morning, quickly changing that snow over to a mix and then rain, and then we just continue to warm up from there. We keep the shower threat in play Wednesday through Thursday as a warm front pushes through, and then yes, look at that. March 6th through the 12th, well above normal temperatures through that time span. So keep a close eye to the forecast through the weekend for that brief chance of wintry precipitation Monday night. And then we're up to 54 Wednesday and then 60 on Thursday with a chance of showers.
Thank you, Chris. A controversial panhandling ordinance is now off the table in Dover. The City Council rejecting the restrictions this week. This after months of debate. The ordinance would have fined people for loitering and approaching cars at intersections. Supporters said this is about driver and pedestrian safety. Opponents argue this violates the U.S. Constitution.
Yes, I do feel the council made the right decision because this ordinance was wrong on many different levels.
This ordinance is an ordinance that really is about compassion for people and protecting people and about the quality of life.
And the ordinance was set to take effect in July. This is now not happening.
After the break on Coast TV News Today, there's history, charity, and poetry events this weekend. We'll show you a look at some of the cool things there are to do. Don't go anywhere. An update to a story that we first brought you on Thursday. This is a look at the construction that's now taking place at Waterside Park in Salisbury. The city says that work started on Thursday on a new combined bathroom and pavilion at the park. Additional upgrades, including improvements to playground equipment and the basketball court, of course, they're expected in the summer. Mayor Randy Taylor says that the project will help create a safe and welcoming space for kids and their families.
Well, I mean, I think anytime you have a good playground, you want to make it better, and that's really a critical one because it's right around Pemberton School, and in that corridor has got a lot of apartment buildings and a lot of kids after school. So the summertime and after school, it's a great place for them to go.
Parking will not be allowed on site during construction, and the project is set to wrap up in June.
Looking forward to those sunny, warm days running around. We have some cold temperatures this morning, some slick spots out there. We're at 36 in Ocean City, so we'll have a few areas of fog, primarily inland, Fenwick Island, Ocean City looking very nice by this afternoon under partly cloudy skies. We get up into the upper 40s through Lewis and Rehoboth. A beautiful afternoon, a little cooler there in the mid 40s, warmer through the mid shore. We're starting the day with some fog in Cambridge and Crisfield, but we're making a run at 50 degrees this afternoon under those sunny skies. Congratulations, Mark Warren, Millsboro, Delaware, on winning an umbrella from Coast TV. We will talk about a beautiful weekend ahead and then some brief wintry weather as we go into Monday.
New this morning, if you were mentally preparing to jump into icy cold ocean water this weekend, you're off the hook, but the Lewis Polar Bear Plunge has been canceled. But don't panic. In just a few, we're going to tell you a little bit about other ways you can support Special Olympics Delaware and plenty of the other activities happening along the coast.
Lots of fun happening this weekend, Elisa. Here's Coast TV's Christina DeRobertis with your cool things to do.
So you won't be running into the ocean with 20,000 people this weekend, but the Lewis Polar Bear Plunge is still bringing the fun. Saturday in Rehoboth, there's fire and ice at Atlantic Sands and a chili contest in the afternoon. And then you can do your own icy challenge at home. You can jump in the snow, you can dump a bucket of water over your head, however brave you're feeling. It's all to support Special Olympics Delaware. But if you'd rather stay dry, you can help stitch a piece of history. The Daughters of the American Revolution inviting the public to the historic Mall House in Lewis to help sew Delaware's panel for a nationwide exhibit honoring the original 13 colonies. That's happening Saturday from 10 to 4. Here's a heads up, the point at Cape Henlopen State Park closes on Sunday for nesting season, so Saturday's Get the Point Beach Walk at 11, hosted by the Seaside Nature Center, is basically your last chance to check out the point until next winter. Beer lovers, Dogfish Head Brewing and Eats is hosting a Craft Brewing Hall of Fame watch party at 3 on Saturday. They'll be live streaming the inductions because the founder of Dogfish Head is among the nominees. Or if poetry is your thing, Camp Rehoboth Theater Company has a poetry jam Saturday at 3 at the Camp Rehoboth Community Center. Tickets are $20. For event details, tickets, and more, just head over to coasttv.com and click on Cool Things to Do.
Now on Coast TV News.
Reforming growth in Sussex. Sussex County Council weighs 20 land use proposals, citing hurdles for major rezoning changes.
Good Friday morning, Delmarva. Watch for some patchy fog and some slick spots this morning. A beautiful afternoon awaits as we push 50. It gets even better into Saturday. We do have some brief cold air and some wintry weather to talk about early next week.
Slowing down Rehoboth. 90-day traffic calming efforts targeting speeding on busy streets.
AI tensions escalate. Anthropic locked in Pentagon standoff while Block slashes jobs as automation surges.
This is Coast TV News Today.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Elisa Weber. Good morning, Grace.
Good morning, Elisa. I'm Grace Eckerly. Thank you for being with us on this lovely Friday that we're having. February 27th, almost at the end of the month.
I know, I can't believe it. This winter has felt long but also short at the same time.
It's fun with all of the storms. It is kind of exciting getting to go out.
It is exciting.
Elisa, you were building snowmen. You were climbing around in the snow.
I was outside in the snow earlier this week. It was not easy to walk in. You could walk on top of like these huge piles of snow and not sink down.
Snow Mountain.
Definitely interesting to experience, and those piles are still out there. I don't think they're going to go anywhere anytime soon.
No, Lisa. Chris was saying that it is creating some slick spots this morning, so just be careful as you are heading out the doors. We're hovering around those freezing temperatures, but you know what? We had a little fog today, but we also had a really bright moon. Chris is telling us there might be a lunar eclipse, solar eclipse. Chris, what is this eclipse thing? What's going on with this?
Yes, that comes, the total lunar eclipse comes Tuesday morning, and it's going to be a pretty rare sight because we're going to see the moon plus the eclipse at the same time on the horizon, but we may not be able to see it because we're going to have some precipitation cloud cover. We'll have more on that here in a little bit. Taking a look at the visibility this morning, Cambridge down to a quarter mile, so use some caution primarily across Dorchester County through Wycomico and Sussex County. 30 right now. You can see temperatures are below the freezing mark. 29 in Redden, 28 Georgetown, or milder at the beach. So we are going to see some slick spots this morning. Now, we are dealing with clear skies across the area. System passing to our south is going to continue pushing in off the Atlantic as high pressure builds in. So when we burn off the fog, we're in for a mostly sunny afternoon as we have highs right around the 50-degree mark through the day today. I'll have your weekend forecast and that little taste of winter early next week before a big warm up. Your full 7-day forecast here in a few minutes.
Thank you, Chris. Our top story this half hour, the Delaware State Housing Authority is launching a new effort to tackle affordable housing challenges across the state. DSHA says through Senate Joint Resolution 8, 9 communities will take part in a zoning and land use reform pilot program. Those include Bridgeville, Dover, Georgetown, Laurel, Lewis, Milford, Newark, Rehoboth Beach, and Sussex County. The goal is to modernize rezoning rules and increase the variety of housing options, including accessory dwelling units, manufactured homes, higher density developments, and mixed-use projects.
This comes as the Sussex County Council continues to work on recommendations to reform land use. The Land Use Reforms Task Force has previously presented 20 ideas to county officials. Some staffers said that some of the ideas were achievable, like forest preservation, but some of the larger items, like comprehensive rezoning, were described as quite difficult. Another frustration voiced by council and staff is that while the county handles land use, the states handle our roads. Some council members said a broad approach to fix growth is just out of their control.
One of the biggest challenges we have are road capacities, and the pace of development is outstripping our road capacities in many cases. And yet the county has no ability to build roads. We rely on the state and DelDOT to do that, and so coordinating all those things and trying to minimize the inconvenience of people as growth continues, and probably growth will continue for the next several years at least.
Concrete changes will come later in the form of ordinances if council chooses to take action.
Happening today, a blood drive is happening in honor of Black History Month. Delaware's Legislative Black Caucus says it will host a blood drive across the state in partnership with the Blood Bank of Delmarva. Officials say this is especially important as the Blood Bank of Delmarva remains in a blood emergency. The blood bank is operating with less than a 2-day supply of blood for more than 40 hospitals across Delmarva. In Sussex County, organizers say people can schedule an appointment at the Dagsboro location to participate.
A 90-day effort to slow things down on the streets of Rehoboth Beach, the Streets and Safety Advisory Committee was formed back in November to address speeding on some of the city's busiest roads. Some of the short-term traffic calming measures suggested included painted driveway boxes, speed readers, and more speed limit signs. City officials say they are still working on longer-term speeding solutions.
On the coast, significant erosion to Delmarva's coastal communities after the recent winter storms, and a lack of federal funding is keeping South Bethany from getting the beach replenished this year. Multiple storms this fall and winter have left shelves along the coast and made the beach more narrow. South Bethany's mayor says the town will work with Denrick to design a new access ramp under the new conditions and find ways to get people onto the beach. Coastal leaders affected by this lack of federal funding say they expect to have the beaches replenished sometime in 2027.
Tech company Anthropic is facing a Friday afternoon deadline to meet Pentagon demands to remove restrictions on company places on its AI models. The Defense Department is threatening to cancel its contract with the AI safety firm and prevent it from doing business with the rest of the government if it doesn't comply, but Anthropic CEO saying that he won't accede to the request.
And Amanda Sansoni shows us that as another tech company slashes staff due to artificial intelligence.
Leading AI research company Anthropic is under pressure from the Pentagon to drop safety guardrails on Claude, the first AI system to be used in the military's classified network. On Tuesday, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth told Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei that if the company does not allow Claude to be used for, quote, all lawful purposes, he would cancel Anthropic's $200 million contract and deem the company a supply chain risk. But in a blog post Thursday, Amodei rejected the demands, saying in part that AI could, quote, undermine rather than defend democratic values.
They're worried about a couple of things, is how this technology is deployed, and one of them has to do with surveillance and the other has to do with autonomous weapons. These are not perfect systems. What if it did do something wrong?
Amodei said Anthropic would not change its position despite the threats. Some experts say the company could have a lot to gain by sticking to their position.
They are selling themselves on safety. They'll do plenty of business with companies that really value this kind of thinking.
And the battle over AI this week isn't limited to the military. On Thursday, Block, the company behind Square, Cash App, and Afterpay, announced thousands of layoffs, cutting staff by 40%. The reason? Intelligence tools, according to a letter to shareholders by co-founder Jack Dorsey.
The company says artificial intelligence can do more of that work better than the people that are working there.
A stark warning that it's likely other businesses will begin following suit. In Washington, I'm Amanda Sansoni.
We are now taking a live look into New York City on this Friday morning, where it was less than 24 hours ago here that the former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton told the House Oversight Committee she has no information about convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. New this morning, former President Bill Clinton will give testimony today to members of Congress under subpoena for the first time for a former president. The questioning comes after former President Clinton's photo and name appeared multiple times in the Justice Department's release of the Epstein files. The former president has said that he cut ties with Epstein before learning of any of his crimes. It's important to note that neither Clinton has been accused of any wrongdoing.
And we have a lot more news to get to. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, Salisbury Zoo Forum, how the zoo says responses can help shape its future.
In Bayside Girls Championship, who took the title in a basketball game between Kent Island and Stephen Decatur?
Hope your Friday morning is off to a fantastic start. Use some caution stepping out the door this morning, especially across Sussex County and the midshore. Temperatures are dipping below the freezing mark. We're at 29 in Salisbury, 30 in Cambridge. We're at 28 in Georgetown, 31 in Lewis. Also dealing with some patchy, dense fog, primarily across Dorchester County, working up into western Sussex County this morning. We are free of any precipitation. This area of low pressure is passing to our south, and we are in for a beautiful afternoon. A little cooler at the coast with temperatures in the mid-40s through Lewis, Rehoboth, Dewey, a little milder there in Chickatie, 48 degrees with a few morning clouds. You can get your latest forecast by calling our First Alert weather phone. Your full 7-day forecast is in a few minutes.
Thanks, Chris. Now take a look at these photos. These were shared by the Georgetown Fire Company. Fire officials say around 9:30 Wednesday night, crews responded to the scene on Robinson Street. They say flames spread through the roof of the home. Fortunately, no one was hurt, and the fire company now says the Delaware State Fire Marshal is investigating what caused that fire.
New this morning, the Salisbury Zoo is inviting the community to share and shape the future of the zoo. The organization has updated an online survey after feedback it received from a recent public forum. Organizers say the meeting discussed education and conservation efforts along with the animals at the zoo and the work it does to care for them. Zoo leaders say responses will help point out areas of improvement.
For the first time in 9 years, Stephen Decatur girls basketball is the champion of the Bayside Conference, and it was pretty easy tonight from Parkside High against Kent Island, 70-41 in favor of the Seahawks. Let's get you into the highlights. Close game after the first quarter. Seahawks did jump out to the early lead, but only by 4. They opened this game up in the second quarter when Stephen Decatur was plus 10 against KI. They went into the half with a 14-point lead, and they only held the Buccaneers to 15 first half points. They only scored 16 more in the second half. The lead for Stephen Decatur ballooned to over 20 after 3 quarters, and then they win the game by nearly 30. And they get revenge against Kent Island, a team that beat them in this very same Bayside Championship game just 3 years ago. And the last time that Stephen Decatur had won the conference before this year, we said it was 9 years ago, but who was it against? It was against Kent Island. So a little bit of deja vu here from Salisbury tonight, led by Malia Blake, who had 18 points, bringing back good memories in one of her best performances of her breakout sophomore season for Stephen Decatur. Reporting from Parkside High School, Ian Nicholas, DSN.
Ian, and coming up tonight on DSN, your game of the night at 6 p.m. UMES hosts Duville in men's basketball. They catch the final score at 10:30.
And for the first time, the Delmarva Sports Network will broadcast a game from the Philadelphia 76ers home arena. Catch all of the action as the Delaware Bluecoats take on the Westchester Knicks. You can watch it live at 11 a.m. on Wednesday, March 4th on DSN.
Now, a show that has created a lot of new hockey fans is returning. David Daniel has that and more in this week's Hollywood Minute.
He's like a huge movie star.
Are there any gay hockey players?
None that have said it publicly.
The creator of Heated Rivalry says season 2 of the romantic hockey drama will arrive as soon as humanly possible. Jacob Tierney told Gayle King, "We're writing it now and getting ready to start shooting this summer," with an expected premiere in April 2027 on Canadian streamer Crave and HBO Max.
I was hired by Barnaby and Sally to complete the unfinished Christophers.
And what makes you think that you could do it?
I guess that's where the art of it comes in.
Oh, pooh.
Michaela Cole and Ian McKellen star in director Steven Soderbergh's The Christophers, about an art restorer and former forger assigned to complete 8 paintings by a legendary artist without his knowledge. This is the first trailer for the film, which opens in New York and LA April 10th and in wide release April 17th. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
If you're having a rough week, cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from Coast TV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and more. You can sign up now for free at coasttv.com/sign up to get a weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox on Friday.
And if you are looking for a job, be sure to join us this weekend for the Delmarva Job Fair. Meet with dozens of employers from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday at the William C. Jason Technology Center at Delaware Tech in Georgetown. Bring your resume and admission is free.
It's Friday. We have sunshine to look forward to this afternoon. 60-degree temperature to look forward to on the weekend, and I accidentally hit my clicker too quick there. We are going to be dealing with a little wintry precipitation early next week. I'll have details on that after the break.
The time is now 5:50 a.m. as we're taking a live look out into Milford. And Chris, you got 2 good pieces of good news today. Number 1, if you're looking forward to the summer, number 1, we're hitting 50 today. And number 2, some of those snow piles that we're seeing could be melting away by Sunday, maybe.
Yeah, Mother Nature's going to help us, get rid of all this snow that I know a lot of people are tired of across the area. We are dealing with some fog this morning, primarily across the Cambridge, eastern portions of Dorchester County, as well as Wycomico, western Sussex County, up through Kent. A lot of the notorious spots this morning. We are quite cold. We're at 27 in Harrington, 27 in Bridgeville, which means we are going to be dealing with some black ice this morning, especially away from the coast, with temperatures below the freezing mark. And that's all thanks to clear skies and calm winds. Taking a live look into Salisbury, you see the roads there, a little sheen on the road there in Salisbury. 29 clear skies as clouds just to our south. You can see a few of these clouds push into the southern portion of the peninsula through the morning, but high pressure is going to suppress this system to the south, and we are in for sunny skies for our Friday, near 50, even better through Saturday. Cold front's going to come through Sunday, bringing a brief shot of cold air and some wintry precipitation Monday night. But boy, I'll tell you what, we're going to warm up very quickly into the middle part of next week. 51 this afternoon in Milford, 48 in Lewis, 46 in Cambridge, 53 Vienna, 53 in Salisbury to 51 in Snow Hill. So we stay clear through the evening and overnight. Some patchy fog possible into Saturday morning. By the afternoon, wall-to-wall sunshine. We get up to 60 degrees, and then clouds will increase Saturday night into Sunday as that front pushes through the area. Making your way out to the Delmarva Job Fair in Georgetown on Saturday, wall-to-wall sunshine. Grab the sunglasses as those temperatures top out around 60. We'll have more of a northerly wind on Sunday. Few clouds in the morning, but by the afternoon, we are going to be doing pretty well with that sunshine. Keeping an eye on that snow chance on Monday night, trending a little warmer over the with the overnight runs. We could see a brief round of snow into the wee hours of Tuesday morning, but watch as that warmer air filters in, quickly going over to mix and then rain. So we could see a brief coating, and then I think the warmer air is going to win out with this one. Considering what we've been through, this is going to be a trivial event. And then very warm into Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and we keep scattered shower chances in the forecast through the middle end of next week. March 6th through the 12th, boy, what a warm up we are going to see across the east. Keep a close eye to the forecast as we fine-tune things with as far as the winter impacts go with that system Monday night. Very brief window there of winter weather, and then it warms up pretty nicely by the middle part of next week. Lisa.
Thank you, Chris. There's a lot of cleanup ahead at the Salisbury Zoo after last weekend's snowstorm. The zoo was closed all weekend after strong winds brought down tree limbs and bamboo. Staff are now working around the clock to clear pathways and clean up habitats.
I mean, we are just blessed that the storm hit us the way it hit us, and our preparations of doing things, made it a safe place for everybody.
The zoo says thankfully no animals were hurt. The director says the zoo expects the damage to cost anywhere between $25,000 and $50,000. The zoo is closed this weekend, but says the goal is to reopen at the start of next week.
Speaking of animals, Elisa Weber, time's now 5:03 a.m. and it's time to check in with our coastal and adoptable pet of the day.
And today's coastal pet of the day is coming to us from the Brandywine Valley SPCA, as it does every Friday. On your screen right now is Tina. Tina is a cute and quirky girl who just needs a little bit of patience and TLC. Don't we all, Tina? Tina would love to meet you and give you her heart. If you want to adopt Tina or any other lovable pet, you can head over to the Brandywine Valley SPCA.
Elisa, look at her. She is a very photogenic girl.
She is.
Beautiful. We want to see more of your pets on Delmarva, especially if you go and adopt our good friend Tina over here and send us photos. Tell us what makes your pet so special. If you take a look at your screen now.
Scan the QR code at the top of your screen to submit your furry friend to Coast TV News. Then, of course, watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all of the pets we feature.
Burger King is giving the iconic Whopper its first makeover in nearly a decade.
The company says it's tweaking the bun, mayo, and packaging after customer complaints.
Thursday, the chain said the Whopper will now come on a premium bun with creamier mayo.
It'll be served in a clamshell box instead of paper wrapping. The changes come after years of complaints about smash burgers that were falling apart. The revamped burger is rolling out this week nationwide, with the iconic beef patty will not be changing. I'm so glad that we know this information.
Chris, is this something that you're excited for? Are you preparing for this creamier mayo?
I'm probably more Whopper than, I'm probably more Whopper than McDonald's.
I have not either.
I haven't had one in years, though. I haven't had a burger.
Now's the time.
What about the In-N-Out burger? Justice for In-N-Out, you guys. Come
on.
on.
We do talk about that a lot.
Cousins out in LA. I usually get one when I go out there. Hopefully the lettuce is a little green, right? On those burgers.
That's what you usually want,
yes. You hope.
You don't want white lettuce. Like white romaine. Mostly sunny skies into Saturday, 60 degrees, 50 by Sunday. We do have a cold front that's going to be bringing in a brief round of cold air through Monday, 34. We have a brief window of some wintry precipitation Monday night, but quickly warming up. That any snow that we get Monday night is going to be changing over to mix and then rain. And then look at that temperature surge as we go into the late next week. 60s. And guess what? The week after that, maybe even warmer. Dare I say we could be approaching 70s?
Chris, this is good to know. Well, coming up in our 6 o'clock hour, Delaware tackles housing crunch. Delaware State Housing Authority launches pilot zoning reform to expand affordable housing options. All that and more when Coast TV News Today returns.